Hello everyone and welcome to Athena Games. This is our last stream of the year, which is slightly a bit of sad news, but we're bringing you two games tonight. We've got a scum-off later on in the evening with Chris and Richard, but to get the game started, we've got Chelsea Fine versus Elliot Baker. In the booth, alongside myself, David Lincoln, is Gareth Chambers. Hello Gareth.
Hello everyone. Thanks for having me here, Dave. It's going to be really interesting to see what comes out of these games tonight. I've had a look at both the lists for the first game. Not entirely what I would do with each of those ships, but it should be interesting to see how they come out.
Let's actually just get the overlay up here for you, so you can sort of see what's going down this evening. As Gareth was saying, obviously I've brought Gareth in this evening. Elliot's left me in charge of the stream. Feel honoured and scared at the same time. So I sort of got the matches together, and obviously got a commentary team of Gareth. It was also going to be with Chris Yules, but he's otherwise engaged this evening. So what I decided to do, which I didn't realise, is actually got two interesting matches. Chelsea and Elliot have never played each other at all. No, never. Which is strange and hard to believe at the same time.
I guess Elliot's normally stuck in here.
He's either normally stuck in here or Chelsea's normally playing me, so it's kind of otherwise engaged, really, I suppose. So what Elliot's running is he's running Howl Runner, Echo with a few upgrades, which we'll go through in a moment, and two Black Squadron TIE Fighters and an Academy pilot. When I first saw this, I was a bit, surprised and like, ooh, this could be interesting, because Echo is not, or doesn't have veteran instincts.
No, he's chosen to keep Echo at the lower pilot skill and try and abuse Snapshot. From the looks of it.
Yeah, with Snapshot being able to roll an attack when a ship is in range one of it, he could then use that to to actually cloak up with Echo if he doesn't feel the shots on. It'll be interesting to see how that works out for him.
It's not quite what I would do, simply based on if you're getting a snapshot off, you've got someone in range one, and that 5 dice primary from range one is a very scary thing normally.
It's also something to consider what might be coming his way as well, I suppose.
The interesting addition I see there is the intelligence agent. He's running that, which will give him access to the knowledge of what his opponent's going to be doing, which can get him in a position to get his snapshot off, choose whether he needs to cloak up or not, and then fire from that. When facing up against high pilot skill, I can see a lot of snapshot into cloak happening, because 2 dice evade is not what you want.
No, I've seen Elliot actually do this before. We had the escalation tournament recently. Elliot came out with not 1, not 2, but 6 A-wings, 3 of which had snapshot, and it just tore my list to pieces. Being at the really low pilot skill, having access to a 2 dice roll up, potentially taking the damage you roll because you got no modifications. Could be a way to punch through damage, and then your attack on top of that. It's scary. It really is.
On top of the interesting build for Echo, the introduction of Duke onto the Black Squadron pilots, which you normally see Crackshot on, they're going to be utilising the rerolls from Howl Runner a lot more, because they're not going to be taking focus. They're going to be taking the evade actions to get their Duke off, or to stay defensive.
Yeah.
So they effectively get a Crackshot every turn with Duke, but then they've got to deal with the additional problems of not having focus with the three evade dice, which increases your odds of rolling those evades so much.
Yeah.
It kind of feels more aggressive than the Crackshot, which is weird to say, because Crackshot is a very aggressive card. But the Duke, although you're taking the evade action, you're not taking that focus, so you're not increasing the quality of your dice. And hopefully he doesn't come a cropper for it.
Yeah, no, that is the thing. It's an interesting thought concept. It's also on Chelsea's side of the ball, which we'll go through a list in a moment. You know, I was saying to Elliot when I was talking to him about it earlier. You've got so many different target priorities. Howl Runner for the rerolls, Echo because it's Echo. You know, trying to keep up with him all game is going to be virtually nigh on impossible. But then you've got those little lower pilot skill TIE fighters that are just going to be an annoyance and just get in your way all the time. It's going to be interesting to see how this all sort of comes out, really, in terms of how Chelsea is going to try and attack this back.
I think it's more going to come down to the speed that the Millennium Falcon can either get away from or deal with the TIE fighters.
Yeah, no, that is the question. And with the way Chelsea is going to be running this, the Falcon, which as you can see is piloted by Ray, is going to be using the new Signals Loop title. So it gives her the option to a three bank, which at the end of it you may take a stress to turn 180 degrees.
Yeah.
But that may all come for naught anyway because of Kane and Jarrus. When you perform a white manoeuvre with Kane and Jarrus, you may remove one stress.
Yeah, well, the timing windows is really important there. And in remembering that you can utilising Kanan to relieve the stress, you can turn around even when you have a stress. Because you relieve that first stress and then the title checks to see if you were stressed.
Yeah.
So you can still turn around.
Yeah, no, that is the key thing. There's been quite a lot recently of how things have changed timing wise. That was just popping his head round into the booth, but he's just sort of saying we're all sort of really good to go here, so that means we should get things underway. Let me just get the... it's already starting to do. That's fine. It's been a while since I've had to do an overlay, so I hope this all runs smoothly.
It's all on him.
So while we're getting the guys all set up, hopefully, and we'll be playing shortly, I hope, let's just quickly go through what Chelsea's got. So Chelsea, as I said, was running Ray in the Millennium Falcon with a new Signals Loop title.
Yeah.
Ray's ability herself means she gets to roll 2 dice. Hang on a minute, we've just got an initiative roll off here, so we'll go through this.
That's 3 hits. 1 focus for Chelsea. I think that means she gets the initiative.
We'll find out with the first asteroid deployment, because whoever placed the first asteroid has the initiative. Elliot was originally at 100 points, but he changed his mind just before the stream commenced. There we go. Chelsea has just been past the initiative marker from Elliot, so that means Chelsea will have the initiative here. Right.
I see some nice big debris clouds from Elliot's side.
Yeah. Chelsea doesn't normally use, or hasn't really used the debris fields yet. As the handshake to get the game underway.
It's more... I think he's just going to be using the collision detector over those. I hope he doesn't forget that he can't...
Do them over the other ones.
No, you can't use your advanced cloaking device while you're stressed.
Of course, yes, because it's an action.
Even though he doesn't take the damage from going over, he would still take the stress, which means any snapshots or anything like that, he wouldn't get to make that cloak action going over the debris.
Yeah, no, that's something to note, really. So what Chelsea's got is Ray with Kane and Jarrus to help with the manoeuvres from the Signals Loop, a shield upgrade to make her more...
Everything apart from that 4K turn effectively green. So.
Yeah. So obviously, as I said, also got a shield upgrade, so we've got a bit more survivability there.
Yeah.
Finn, which until actually fairly recently, I didn't understand the second part of his card, because it also means that you can re-roll defensive blanks as well.
Yeah, you didn't realise that it got the extra blank on the defensive dice.
No, which is quite nice actually as well, because the way Ray is, when attacking or defending, you may re-roll blank dice. But then in defensive, Finn can get an extra dice, so you then potentially have 2 dice to re-roll, re-roll blanks.
my personal opinion on that particular Falcon build is I like the Finn Ray combo. Kane and Jarrus just works very nicely with the sloop title.
Yeah.
The shield upgrade, that 14th hit point, I don't know how important it's going to be.
I think it was that point. If you think about where the points are now, it would have been 95 points. So,
but then I wouldn't have taken Predator because if flown well, Ray gets enough rerolls herself without needing it.
I sort of helped Chelsea actually build this list. So what I was kind of thinking with that was, for 3 points, you wouldn't want to take Push the Limit, because Push the Limit then locks you in.
I have tried it with Push the Limit engine upgrade.
Okay.
And it is insane.
Well, you do like your barrel roll boosting shenanigans with the likes of Nora Wexley, so it's no surprise.
Yeah, massive amounts of action economy. Until a couple of months ago, I was playing a lot of barrel rolling big ships. You don't get access to the barrel roll, but the engine upgrade is always nice. And then onto the Poe Dameron build, Black One title with prime thrusters. It's kind of a given. You're either doing prime thrusters or pattern analyzer.
Yeah.
The BB-8 gives it that barrel roll to shed the target lock from the Black One title. Be interesting because it's not the regen Poe.
Yeah, that is something that was worth considering. But
obviously, if I was building this list, it would be a different EPT on Ray. I'd have lost the shield upgrade, and I'd have used those points to make Poe regen. Yeah,
that is the that's the thing that was worth considering when I was helping Chelsea build this. But Chelsea's strength has always been in her manoeuvres. So that's where I was going with the whole BB-8 sort of combo.
Something that stumps me sometimes when I play against her, you know me, I'm unpredictable as they come when it comes to manoeuvres. I'll use Push the Limit BB-8 on things like Nora Wexley, and I played Super Dash for such a long time. It just causes a lot of problems for people not knowing where you're going to be.
Yeah.
So I like the Push the Limit BB-8 combo, but I think Poe needs some sort of regen because he wants to be that last ship on the board.
Yeah. And when Poe's on his own at the end, that could be enough to see you through.
Yeah, and if he doesn't have the regen to help him out to stay as that last ship on the board, it can cause a few problems. At first manoeuvres, we have a 5 forward from the Academy pilot.
I haven't had to do an overlay before with so many TIE fighters, so many of the same ship. I've not even had a Z95 swarm.
You've never had to stream my TIE swarm, have you?
No, I haven't. I've been fortunate to get away with that one.
My TIE swarm, it keeps changing. When we get the next wave, I'll be looking forward to that. There's more of the TIE fighters going up, and we should see Echo moving up very shortly. My TIE fighter swarm is going to be adding a bomber come the next wave, just because of one crew card.
Yeah, no, that is true. Is that the crew card by any chance? The
operation specialist.
Yes.
So if you make an attack that misses, you get to give a focus token to a friendly ship. And I'd be planning to use that on the TIE bomber, like Major Rhymer with Snapshot, and then just 4 TIE fighters with Snapshot.
Yeah.
So anyone flies into that range 1 or range 2 of Rhymer, you either get the damage, which is a plus, or you get to give a focus token to your TIE fighters.
Yeah.
And using that, it opens them up to take the evade action that they really need. And you can end up with someone flies into range 1, even if all of your snapshots miss, you have a TIE swarm with a bomber at the back that have all got focus evade.
Yeah, that is huge. That also then may make things a bit more interesting on the other side of the board as well, because it's not linked to a faction. It is non-restricted faction.
Yeah.
So it can be used on anything.
There's a lot coming in the next wave that I think will be important. one of the other ones I've been toying with is putting a inspiring recruit that comes in the U-wing expansion onto a Phantom, because at that point it makes you resistant to the stressbot Y-wings, which are so prevalent in Rebels.
Oh, they are.
So now if you take the double stress from a Y-wing on your Phantom, you're not just a dead ship, because you're relieving both those stress by taking a manoeuvre.
Yeah. It's also like for the likes of Chopper, I suppose, as well. He can just sit there for days, passing out stress at the start of each
although
turn.
he's a 0-point crew card, I'm not a big fan of Chopper.
I'm thinking of the actual pilot version
on
the
pilot,
Ghost.
yeah, that's amazing.
Because of the ability that he has, passing out stress at the start of the turn. Start of the combat phase. While we've been talking about that, actually,
moving last out of everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so while we've been talking about that, we've just seen Chelsea move up both Poe and Rey, both going for focus actions.
And from the looks of it, Echo took his cloak. Her cloak. I can never remember which way around it is. Echo or Whispers. One of them's a boy, one's a girl.
Yeah.
I play the game more than I look into the lore.
that's normally where Elliot comes in. We kind of go, "Help, Elliot! What's?"
Yeah, he's kind of the Legends expert, isn't he?
He is. But I still think this is going to be an interesting matchup.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top.
This first pass, I think, will be important.
Yeah.
If Chelsea has gone headlong into the swarm, I can't see Poe lasting very long.
Oh no!
But if she's turned away from the swarm to hunt down Echo, then that means that it's going to take a very long time for those TIE fighters to get into the fight, which leaves Rey and Poe very open
together.
Just to take out that Phantom. So take out the 4 dice primary, which is going to ruin Rey.
It is, and yeah, I think this is the problem though. There is so many different targets, so many valid targets for anyone to work with to go, I want to take out, let's say for example, Echo, because Echo is
staying cloaked, moving 4 forwards, so coming in to join the swarm, I think, to come round for the fight.
Yeah. So you've got Echo, for example, who with that 4 dice attack, 5 dice at range 1, who has the ability then to cloak after combat.
Yeah.
Although,
like I said, not having that VI means he's lower pilot skill on both of the opposing pilots. I think you'll see more use out of the intelligence agent, get the range 1, snapshot off, cloak up.
Yeah.
Because that small chip damage is going to be more important than potentially losing Echo to a turret on Rey.
Oh yeah. And yeah, if it's going to be one of those things, all these ships have got valid targets for Chelsea. So Echo is a threat, on its own.
Yeah.
Anyone who puts Echo in there is playing with a statement of intent, I think. With the amount of manoeuvrability that it's got and the firepower on board as well.
The firepower is the more important side of it.
Here we go. Chelsea's going in on the offensive.
Okay. So she's decided, no, she's not waiting around to skirt the board. She just wants to get into the fight. Which
is understandable.
The standard focus action that Poe always takes.
If it was me, I would have actually probably done the push the limit, boost 1 forwards.
It's interesting that she didn't take the push the limit.
Because then next turn reveal a green manoeuvre to use them BB-8 to then push the limit off that potentially. She had
access to do the BB-8, push the limit, take a target lock, and then turn in. But then she might have been worried about landing on the debris cloud.
Yeah. And that's something that she can't really afford,
at that point, she'd have had the target lock and the focus. Not needing the barrel roll majorly at the moment, but utilising it to get that extra action. Yeah.
The one thing that you've got to consider, though, with Poe and the dial on the T-70 is it's really, really... with the new tech slot, like prime thrusters, opens up the dial to a lot of things.
I'm still not a fan of the prime thrusters.
Okay.
I think the pattern analyzer is where it's at for the tech slots. being able to take your actions before.
Oh, that looks like
is that
it might have been
blank?
invaded. I don't know. I can't really see from the camera angle we've got here.
I don't see any damage cards coming out, so I think he might have evaded it. There were 2 hits went through because of Poe's focus effect.
Yeah.
So now we see range 2 coming back, spending focus from Howl Runner, and Poe's effect gives
Poe's effect.
So no damage from Howl Runner at Poe, but now we see the TIE fighters.
Yeah.
And these duking TIE fighters, they're going to be important. Not so much against Poe, because Poe's effect gets to change that focus anyway.
Yeah. Unless it's...
Howl Runner reroll into 2 hits.
Ooh.
Is that blanked out?
There is one blank. I believe there's a focus there, so he's going to be using Poe's ability. She shouldn't need to spend the focus.
She didn't spend the focus. That's Poe's ability.
Yeah. So Poe is taken...
One goes through.
One.
Because attacker modifies dice before defender.
Yeah.
At which point Poe's ability goes off after the Duke effect. So Poe's ability is kind of countering those Dukes at the moment.
Yeah. But for how long we see? So I think that's gone through fine so far.
I'm going to reroll. Another 2 hits. So
another 2 dice.
I think this might be the Academy pilot. So another focus, switch up. Yep. So that's another second shield gone.
Yeah. Right. Things have changed on the overlay a little bit since the last time I've used this. So.
Like I said, it coming in to engage the fight there, and Poe trying to take on a TIE swarm is quite a difficult move to make, really.
Yeah, and a difficult move to pull off as well. Sorry, so let's do it that way around just to make it easier to.
Well, you need to remove another shield because she.
Of course, yes, because there was one just taken in that last exchange.
There we go.
This is probably where the R5P9 or R2D2 shield regen might come useful.
Regen would have come in insanely useful here, because it would have meant that losing those 2 shields is kind of a safe play.
Yeah.
Because those TIE fighters, from this position, if it was a regen on Poe, those TIE fighters, they're going to be moving up. They're not necessarily likely to K-turn with that debris cloud there.
And even if they could K-turn past the debris field, you've got Poe himself to deal with.
And Poe can just tear off past them.
Yeah.
Fly past them, regen a few shields up, while Rey comes round and assists.
Even to an extent of where Poe could just scream up past the TIE fighters, swing round and then head for Echo.
All of the TIE fighters, apart from Howl Runner, are moving before Poe. So at this point... it would have been a very different game with the regen. Yeah. Because I could have seen Poe tearing off 4 forwards, straight past them, and just going from there. You're
going absolutely nuts as Poe always does, really. You know, it's still obviously early days in this game, so we'll see how that early damage on Poe affects the outcome.
Yeah, I mean, it could be very interesting. I think here we might, from the aggressive play that Chelsea made, I think Poe might be looking to K-turn here and try and get on the tail end of those TIE fighters.
That could be a very, very valid point there. I think the problem is, though, with that K-turn, it's going to take Poe quite close. And he's just moving the first. Yeah,
there's the Academy pilot going
away
too hard.
Yep.
Yeah. Like I said, I didn't see the TIE fighters K-turning that turn with the debris cloud. You don't want double stress on a TIE fighter, because a TIE fighter without its actions is basically a dead TIE fighter.
To be fair, most small ships of that size, when you go and get stressed or double stressed, it's only a matter of time before it it finally pops.
There
really.
are a lot of ships that are resilient enough that they can spend the time, skirt around the board, shed the stress. But TIE fighters, they want to joust. They want to be in your face and stay there.
Yeah, that's the natural TIE fighter way, and Elliot's mixing this up.
That's going straight into the front of Poe, and you see that 4-speed manoeuvre that would have left Poe in a perfect position to K-turn there. Would have had no shots on him.
Yeah. It doesn't mean that there's other moves on that dial that Chelsea could have done. If Chelsea's put down a three green straight, for example,
we'll see what
with
Chelsea's
BB-8
put down there. Because we've got Echo incoming. Again,
still cloaked up.
Didn't decloak. He's coming in to assist the rear of the TIE fighters.
Yeah,
trying to get away from that Falcon.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. The Echo is there really as a bait. And I think unfortunately Chelsea has taken that bait. If it was me, from where Chelsea would have seen most of Elliot's setup, I would have seen Echo all the way over the side of the board and put Rey and Poe together and try and tear things up before.
What I'd like to see happen from Echo next turn is use a bank forwards.
Yeah.
Coming round as a decloak.
Ooh.
Then, here we go, into the back of the TIE fighter.
It's not going to actually move, apart from just about a half-inch forward, or not even that.
The only shots that may happen would be...
Actually, this isn't bad for Chelsea. As much as there's no action there, there's the TIE fighter number 4 at the front there.
I think if Poe does actually move here, that might cause problems getting the shot onto Howlrunner.
Yeah, I don't think that's a goer. I really don't think it's a goer. Yeah. So as far as it can go is just right into the front there.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I still think that's fine for Chelsea.
It leaves no shots from the TIE fighters. Howlrunner's going to get a shot, but Howlrunner doesn't get the modifications.
So you're going to have the two attack dice against 2 evade.
This is depending on what Elliot does here. Straight into the back of the TIE fighter.
Ouch.
Luckily not landing on the debris cloud from the looks of it.
Yep, just...
it's close, but I don't think that's on the debris cloud.
No, it looks to be just the left.
However, that was an attempt to K-turn.
Thinking that Chelsea wasn't going to be there, or didn't anticipate...
At which point we're going to see range 1 from Howlrunner at Poe. Poe's probably going to tank that shot.
But there's no modification or no special ability from from Rey. Sorry, from Poe.
There's a chance that Poe's going to lose his last shield. I don't think we'll see much more damage than that.
Yeah, unless you have the return fire from Poe with 4 dice at range band 1 coming in and getting obviously more hits than that. So we'll have to see how this goes.
Range 1 from Poe, no modifications at Howlrunner.
That's
is that
most. That looks like a hit or crit and 2 focus results. But that's all blanks out. Ooh.
So that is
a critical
onto Howlrunner,
which is
I couldn't see it. There's too much
console fire. Ooh, that needs to be sorted out, Elliot. Otherwise, that's going to be.
Which means Howlrunner is definitely doing a green maneuver this turn to get
a chance of doing that, and to get a chance at doing the getting the actions
is that
as well.
A second stress? Why is there a second stress landing on Howlrunner there?
I'm not 100% sure on that.
I really don't know.
That is weird. I must say.
Howlrunner's not on the debris cloud. The attempt to K-turn obviously is a stress.
Yeah.
But I don't see why there's a second stress.
I'll say let's see how, because obviously the dials are now being placed. I'll go and investigate that very quickly, and I'll return in a second. So there might have been another crit there we didn't see.
So from this position, I can quite easily see Rey coming round, just skirting the board. I guess Chelsea is using Poe as the aggressor here. Trying to take out as much as Poe can, and then leave Rey on clean-up duty. again, I've made my opinions on it. It's an interesting game so far. I mean, the crit onto Howl Runner could be the end of Howl Runner.
And what that token actually is alongside that is actually the critical marker.
Oh, it's a crit marker.
Yeah,
okay.
it's the same colour. It's Elliot's, I believe it's Coggo 2's.
I tend not to use the crit markers. I know I should.
Yeah, no, I tend to ignore those either. But then the problem is you get to a state of the game where I've played before, where there's the crit that makes you roll one less attack dice. That's then being realised after the dice.
Put crits that affect my stat line to the top of the stack, so they're readily there to read.
But it's one of those things. If you just literally had that in that turn, that's not necessarily the first thing you think about.
Here's the decloak that I thought we'd see, and I could possibly even see something as big as a 3 hard straight round to come in at that Poe. Just try and get on his rear.
Yeah, that could be fair. Elliot's now turning his TIE fighters around, probably to try and get a shot if Poe's going quick.
It's a shame I don't think he'd make the barrel roll back. I don't think
there is no way. There is no way.
Which means that TIE fighter's in a bit of a precarious position for next turn, because the only way he's not going to hit that rock is another 1 hard.
Yeah, but that 1 hard is still doable. It's not a stress move, so he could do it again.
It is doable, but it's not a manoeuvre.
Oh, here comes a K-turn.
It's not a manoeuvre I would want to make in that position. Not without knowing that Poe is going to be somewhere in front of those TIE fighters.
Yeah, that is true. Those TIE fighters, though, with their very little amount of dice, they can still do a hefty punishment, though, in the right hands with the map.
We've already seen them take a number of shields away from Poe.
So
that's a 3 forward, so relieving the stress from that TIE fighter. It's the Black Squadron pilot.
Yeah.
And then after those, we will see what Echo's doing. See if I've managed to predict correctly that big 3 hard turn right round, not decloaking, trying to get the snapshot onto Poe.
Oh yeah. It'll be interesting to see how that mechanic obviously works. You can then use that to cloak up again, which it's ultra defensive, but
there we go, the 3 hard turn.
Bang on the nose there, Gareth. That was because this is the thing.
And from here, I can see obviously the focus action.
Yeah.
Because you're going to need it to evade with if Poe does come tearing forwards. If Poe does come right in the middle there, in front of the snapshot, we'll probably see the snapshot into a cloak, and then we'll see.
Oh, barrel roll. Trying to anticipate Chelsea's move. Because the natural line is just between where Howl Runner is and Echo.
Why he's done it, but then it leaves him really open. Because if Poe lands in range 2,
here we go. Now because of that, Chelsea can do the barrel roll,
which means
BB-8.
we see either a 1 bank or I think just a forward manoeuvre, which means he's not going to get into the range 1 band for Echo, so no snapshot. Echo could take a hit this turn.
Let's see where this goes.
Straightforward.
Yeah. Ooh.
Did we see a push the limit off of the BB-8
No.
move?
Oh, hang on. Is that? No, it's not quite.
Again, it's another missed opportunity there.
I would even me. I would have, at the very worst, done a 1 boost back towards.
I'd have taken a focus. Because
easy going gives you something to work with.
You're guaranteeing the action there.
Yeah.
And
it'll help against,
because you're not going to be stressed at the end of it, because you're doing the green manoeuvre. There was no loss to taking that push the limit focus, which it's a missed opportunity, because that could be the difference between evading and not evading here, because you've still got
two shots inbound minimum.
What's probably going to be range 2.
You've also got the range bound 1 shot there from the number 3 TIE fighter. So
you're going to see Duke coming into play. No, because it's stressed. But you're going to see a range one from the TIE Fighter, which could potentially even kill Poe if Poe loses enough to the shot from Echo here.
Yeah.
Poe's going to get shoot Echo first.
And then we'll probably cloak immediately.
Is the crit leaving from Howl Runner?
Yes.
Took his action to flip it.
He couldn't have really afford to take the damage from that, or potentially the damage from that.
I would guess that's a range 2 shot. So here we go.
Oh,
you see again
that's the focus.
That missed opportunity.
Oh, really big missed opportunity. Now that was 2 dice with no.
That would have been straight through the shields onto the hull of Echo.
Yeah,
it's a massive missed opportunity.
That would have been Echo on one hull.
And I don't know whether it's down to Chelsea's inexperience with using push the limit PBA, because I haven't seen her use it. But if you get the barrel roll, take that push the limit action.
Yeah, that is kind of like a freebie action on that.
Well, that would have been straight through onto the hull of Echo. Echo would have been crippled.
Yeah, but that's 4 dice or 4 hits from Ray.
Is that onto the TIE Fighter?
Onto the TIE Fighter at the back, so that's 2 hits gone through. That's also down to 1 damage. So
yeah, but still not enough to stop it from shooting Poe this turn.
That is the problem.
She is lucky that there's no Howl Runner rerolls. There's no token modification. It's going to be straight dice here.
Yeah.
But again, that focus action. Why is there 4 dice coming out?
If that's 4 dice from... So it's another 1 damage.
That was Echo. Okay.
That was Echo. So I can now.
So Poe lost the shield to Echo.
Yeah, this is gonna be tough work now.
It would have been the same situation had she taken that focus action, but there'd have been so much damage on Echo that Echo wouldn't be a problem.
No, I can see Echo running away for a little bit now for the game to get the shot that Echo wants.
I wouldn't.
Oh,
there we go. Like I said, it just that missed opportunity.
But Chelsea does have integrated astromech. If she's remembered to use it,
I would pop the astromech on that.
I think you've got to.
You don't let a direct hit come through. You throw the astromech out the window, lose BB-8.
Chelsea's gone to dials, which is a shame. But to be fair, this is a fairly new list for Chelsea. She's probably not thought about how the integrated astromech itself can work.
Yeah, the integrated astromech missing out. It's just been a game of missed opportunities for Chelsea so far.
Hopefully that can all change. Of course, yeah. There is promise, hope and promise there. The fact there's 2 TIE fighters injured and one of them being Howl Runner.
Yeah,
Echo.
But then Howl Runner has flipped its crit. Howl Runner can now get back in the fight.
Yeah,
and Howl Runner is an insane support ship for this 5-ship Imperial list.
Yeah.
It's very similar to how I'll be running my Imperial list come the next wave, but I'll be swapping out the Duke for a Howl Runner and 3 Black Squadron pilots, all running Snapshot, and then I've got the points to run a bomber with an Operations Specialist. Job done, just action economy on a TIE Swarm.
Action economy is normally my speciality, isn't it, really? But, if there's something there
I don't know, You've played against my Nora that takes 4 actions a turn.
Well, and you remember my infamous focus loopers. That's just focus and a T.
But then focus looping can be broken.
I would never play it competitively now when the world is full of Palob and Alta Rock.
Yeah.
With both of them having abilities to either obtain the focuses through Palob or discarding them through the likes of Alta Rock. If you're Alta Rock, you would let them fly for about 5 or 6 turns, bank up, then go bye-bye.
Scum have got so many answers to Rebels at the moment. Rebels really want focus. Let's say 3 bank, I believe. I don't
know why she's revealing.
I don't know why she's done that. Oh, intelligence agent, so that Elliot can see where she's going to be, choose whether to decloak or not. which gives the option to get the snapshot. Or in this situation, Elliot's just decided, no, I'm happy with that manoeuvre. I'm going to potentially just fly away with Echo and come back into the fight another time. The damage is done.
Yeah, and also this turn you're going to have potentially the run-ins of one or two TIE fighters all in a sort of like Poe Dameron blockade.
The interesting thing would be to see how fast Rey comes into this fight to come and assist Poe.
Yeah, that is going to be key, I think.
It's such a shame that we've had just, I think so far 3, if not 4, missed opportunities from.
So Alex just taking this back a little bit. Chelsea's accepted this.
He has decided to decloak.
That's a weird thing, the way of Echo's ability being able to do those two bangs.
What I can see Echo doing here is a hard one to the right. And just waiting for Poe to come straight smack into that range 1 snapshot. Echo's going to recloak from it, but that snapshot could kill Poe here.
Yeah, and if that kills Poe, then decloak is as good as anything.
That's having the lovely thing where Elliot has taken the niche for using snapshot in combination with the advanced cloaking device. Snapshot is all about the different effects you can tether to the end of it.
Yeah.
Like firing off with R3A2 to put stress on people, firing off with all sorts of different effects. In this case, advanced cloaking, you get to cloak up when someone flies into range 1 of you, but in this situation where it's 2 dice v 2 dice, there's not going to be any modifications.
No.
The snapshot fires before actions are taken, at which point Poe could just die to a snapshot here.
Yeah, but as I was already mentioning, snapshot was a bane to me when Elliot and I were playing recently. It can tear through lists because that's damage with no modifications for defense, unless you've already moved and actioned up earlier in the round before that happens.
It's such a good card. I haven't made massive use of it, but it's still it's probably now my second favourite card that came out of Heroes of the Resistance.
Dare I ask what the first was?
Pattern Analyzer now. I was in here in the booth for the Heroes of the Resistance unboxing, and I was dead set on Snapshot being the best card in that box. I still think it's up there, but I think it's taking second place to Pattern Analyzer.
Here we go. There's the one hard as well, Gareth. You're calling these absolutely on the money tonight. That is going to be a range band 1 snap. Because we know Chelsea's doing a 3 bank.
Yeah, Chelsea might just skip that because it's a 2 bank. At which point, it depends on whether Chelsea passes the first TIE fighter. Because if it goes into the second TIE fighter, that's a snapshot. If it doesn't, if it stays where it is, I think we'll be seeing a range ruler come out.
I definitely think there's a range ruler. It's gone through. Or has it? No, it hasn't. This is where a range ruler is going to come in handy. This is the thing, though, actually.
That's in. At which point, we should see a snapshot here, potentially Poe dying, and it's going to be such a shame because that missed opportunity earlier to cripple Echo.
Yeah, no, I do really feel sorry for Chelsea on this one because there is
just a focus. Poe has lucked this one out.
Well,
if we see the cloak, so yes, it's going to be a range 1 shot back, but there's not going to be any modifications from Poe because of the bump.
But might as well give it a go.
And at this stage in the game, Rey is going to have to do a lot of cleaning up.
But remember though, with a ship in arc, which all these ships are going to be.
Why is that not? Okay. From the looks of it, he chose not to cloak.
Because he wanted to get the shot in.
To try and kill Poe. But then that 2 dice versus the 4, Echo could get crippled this turn, which it would be a lot to come back from that. The missed opportunities earlier. If Poe manages to take out at least the shields from Echo.
Oh, remember, they could both converge on the same point.
Yes, you've got Ray. You're going to be firing through 3 of 8 dice because it's going to be through the rock. You could see Echo go down this turn before Echo gets to shoot. I think
that is going to be key.
Not cloaking from that, I think, was a mistake.
Why is Chelsea actually rolling the 4 dice? They should be independent. It's Poe. Oh, that's nice. I think that must be a focus result in there because Elliot is deciding whether to use it or not. So that's the 2 shields gone.
Now we're seeing a missed opportunity on Elliot's side. I'd have taken that cloak action, kept my evade dice up. You don't need to kill Poe this turn. And
in terms of that sacrifice,
cloaking, you could just be facing a...
see, this is the one time where having that Predator is helpful.
I get that.
The one time.
But she's only going to get to reroll 3 dice.
And that's the 3 she needs. That's the hit.
She's going to add a blank here from Finn, which can stay a blank.
No, she's got 2 from Ray and Predator for the 3rd.
At which point, now there's 4 hits coming in. That's a dead Echo, I think.
No, she went for the TIE Fighter.
Oh, okay.
So
we're seeing more opportunities missed from both sides. I don't know how I feel about it, really.
It's definitely an interesting...
We could have seen the end of Echo this turn.
And we're probably going to see the end of Poe.
That's 4 hits. That's the end of Poe. Yes, Elliot made the risky play.
But it turned out to be the right play.
It's paid off, but it's not the play I would have made because it just seemed too unsafe.
Too risky.
And there's too many hits there for the astromech. Like, even if Chelsea had fired the astromech on the direct hit, that would have been a dead Poe there.
Yeah, let me just quickly shut this door. But yeah, that was an interesting risky play that Elliot came down with, but it seemed to work. It was a risk, and it definitely was one of those risks that I don't think any of us would have taken. But just trying to keep the heat in the booth here because it is
a little bit chilly. As
you can imagine, we've got the middle of winter with us here, and it is it's been a bit nippy. We had the joy of summer being the coolest place in the house.
Yeah.
But now being the coolest place in the house is now the coldest place in the house. So yeah, it's a bit nippy. We've got a little radiator to try and keep ourselves a bit warm here. But yeah, no, that was an interesting round there. I think
the intelligence agent could come into play on seeing Ray's dial here, because Ray is facing straight at a rock. I'm probably predicting
a 1 bank.
No, I'd say from here I think you could make the 3 bank.
Okay.
Over the rock. You might not get an action, but I think you can make the 3 bank and not be on it.
And here we go. We're now about to find out. It'd be nice to actually see what that manoeuvre is, like what Chelsea showed us last time.
The other option would be at any hard turn, which just avoids that rock.
Yeah, I still think maybe a 1 bank is an option. In terms of it would bring that back into line between those 2 rocks. I
don't want to kill Poe.
That is another very true and valid point because I did it on Elliot's side of the board there, but not on Chelsea's.
I will be back in just 2 minutes.
Okay, I'll
just gonna check on what that manoeuvre was.
Yeah. But yeah, no, this is sort of a game really of sort of mixed opportunities, is what Gareth was saying there. There was some turns where Chelsea wasn't necessarily coming out on the better side of life. Yes, she's lost Poe, could have taken out Echo. at least there's damage on multiple ships, Elliot. On Elliot's side of the field that have taken damage. So that means that at least Chelsea has got some hurt in. Ray's taken absolutely nothing so far, which means, with 14, remember, because it's normally 8 hull, 5 shields, so 13, so 14 hit points. Ray's going to be around for a little while now, unless they all converge and unleash hell, let's put it that way. It's going to be interesting to see how this round really goes, to see what's left standing. I should have changed the points because I've been a bit of a numpty, but I say at this point it's quite clear because the Black Squadron is either 12 or 13 points, and Poe is, because I built the list, I should know this off the top of my head, 38 points, because Ray herself is 61, so I can update that one straight off the bat. Or I should be able to. That's not actually being forthcoming, but if it were to go to time, but we've still got another half an hour of this game still to go. Ooh. Yeah, that's not helped Chelsea's cause there. She's stuck on the rock.
Oh dear.
That intelligence agent was useful, really useful.
Yeah, the intelligence agent there, it's a staple that we saw.
And she takes one hit as well.
When the Phantoms first came out, the intelligence agent was kind of a staple to begin with anyway, because you'd see what moves your opponent was going to make, and you could decloak around that. And utilising that so well this game, Elliot's been doing, to get the snapshot on Poe, which could have killed him, and this time to bump Ray. Let alone that Ray's landed on a rock and lost a shield. That's just an extra loss.
It is. At this point, there's no regen. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the shield door back on, which is gone massively big style for some reason.
Stop playing with the interface, Dave.
I'm not playing with the interface. Nothing I'm doing with the interface. Just having fun with me today. It's been playing a little bit of havoc with myself, but I'll just try and modify this back. So
I'd just get rid of it for now. Stop trying to be fancy.
Just trying to cover that up so I can move stuff later. But
I get it.
Yeah.
But there'll be plenty of time after this game. Range 3 from a TIE fighter, Hellrunner rerolls plus what looks like focus. Could see another shield go down. Ray's going to
So
get...
this is coming from actually Hellrunner, because you will have the second dice and 2 rerolls for blanks. Because Finn will add a blank result here because of in
Here we
arc.
go. Yeah. So you'll get
2 dice plus 2 rerolls because of Ray. Oh, this is going to be nice.
but
Let's see if we can make it 3. Oh, sorry, 2 hits, 2 evades there.
yeah.
And it looks like it's been found there.
Ray is safe from Hellrunner.
But she's going to get Duke.
Oh, Duke.
So she is going to take
That wasn't
one.
Hellrunner. That was the TIE fighter that I thought it was. Wow, 2 shields lost.
Does Duke only turn... I thought Duke only turned 1 down.
It does only turn 1 down.
So why...
It might have been a focus.
Okay, that's a fair point.
And here we go, range 2 from the Academy pilot, I believe that is. No, that's not the Academy. Yes, that is the Academy pilot. So range 2 from the Academy pilot. No modifications, but it's out of Ray's arc. So
no reroll opportunities.
no rerolls. You're just going to see whatever comes here.
But there is 2 hits, though.
There's 2 hits, which means at least another shield gone from Ray. I think that was an evade.
Yeah, it looks like it is. Chelsea just removing the 1 shield there. So yeah, again, another one.
The clean-up duty that Ray has here, because Poe went down
so early, this is getting larger by the second.
Yeah, Ray doesn't get a shot this turn because of the bump from Echo,
And is on the asteroid.
and doesn't
bump
get a
put it
shot
there.
because the bump put it on the rock, and it's just causing so many problems here. I mean, Is Echo cloaked here or not?
I don't believe necessarily Echo is, because obviously Echo didn't get a chance to shoot.
Okay.
So Echo must have decloaked to move there.
At which point we might see a lucky one here. I can see the signals coming out.
That was exactly my play. I'd probably go left here.
I would go to the left for the safe move. To the right, you're facing TIE fighters, and they're going to fly to bump.
Yeah. But
the signals to the right, you're going towards the debris cloud, not too fussed about it, and you'll end up behind Echo, because Echo, without that decloak this turn, doesn't have too many opportunities to force another bump.
The only thing is we've got to consider is where are these TIE fighters going? You've got 3 TIE fighters that might make any 3 signals.
I can see the Academy pilot coming in to the right, very hard.
Probably to try and cut off the
the
opportunity.
Black Squadron pilot will be interesting. I can see them either going to the right to re-engage later, or I can see them just K-turning and predicting where Rey will be.
Or just slow rolling it into that possible 3 bank or 3 signals. I can't necessarily see from the dial what that is at this depth, but
no,
it's a shame. But we'll see what happens when Chelsea lays her nice shiny templates.
Well, we'll see all of Elliot's list move first.
Yes.
Why?
Apart from obviously Howl Runner, because Chelsea has the initiative, so she will move first, shoot first.
Why is Echo moving first? We've got the Academy pilot to do, and then the Black Squadron.
Yeah, that is a good point. That needs to be rectified.
I don't think it will change anything.
It might, in terms of if Chelsea is slow rolled it.
No, because everything on Elliot's side moves first. It's more that I don't think
if there was a bump caused from where Echo was.
I don't think where Echo was would cause any problems with manoeuvres I predict here.
That looks fine.
It wouldn't have caused any problems. That one is the only real manoeuvre, or the K-turns from the TIE fighters, that might stop the signals. But then signals into the left, if that's what we see, because I can't see that dial from here, could be very important.
And because Chelsea gets to shoot first, Howl Runner's injured.
Yeah.
Ooh, now I don't think that moves on.
Elliot's just flying really well, forcing the bump here. I think he's forced the bump from both signals, which is what you'd want to see come out of Rey this turn.
Yeah.
But bumping that there could cause some issues.
It could cause some issues unless there is a very slow move on the dial.
We could still see the bump into the Black Squadron TIE fighter, take out the Academy pilot, and then potentially not be shot at this turn.
Yeah, it depends on what bumps where, really. We'll just have to wait and see. I think if Chelsea can get rid of something this turn and have very little firepower back, we're kind of back at that equal-ish state in the game.
Yeah.
It's going to be how long Howl Runner stays alive, and then what the state Echo is going to be, or what state Rey's going to be in when Echo turns to re-engage.
Here we go. The 3 bank that we thought we'd see. That's going into the TIE fighter, so we're not going to see the sloop this turn.
But it's not the end of the world.
It's not on the debris cloud, and she's still going to get a range 1 rear arc at that Academy pilot, which, unless...
She still has Predator, though, so that means she at least gets something for that situation, which is...
Well, she'll get 2 rerolls from the Predator because of the pilot skill.
Oh, yes, of course, yeah.
And unless we see Howl Runner come in
for a dangerous...
Unless we see Howl Runner come in for...
If Howl Runner has misjudged
we could see the TIE fighter go down, and here we go.
No, that's fine. That's out of arc. That's out of arc.
That kind of changes things. If that's not a bump...
That is. Is it? I don't know.
If that's bumped, then we should see the TIE fighter go down this turn. If it's not bumped, How runner could be the one that dies.
Yeah, Chelsea's got to kind of choose their targets wisely in terms of working out.
From the lack of action, I think that's a bump. At which point, the only real viable shot is to take that range one, get 2 rerolls from Predator,
and hope to kill it.
Take out that TIE Fighter, because it's the only thing shooting you this turn.
So what's that extra dice on the side there?
Also, Predator allows you to reroll focuses,
reroll anything.
So take that.
Yep, so take that for 2.
So that's
There's 3 hits.
We could see it.
That's blank. Oh, there's one.
One evade.
Oh, that's unlucky. That is really unlucky. I think I think Elliot's there just gesturing at the dice, so saying, "Why just one?"
I think that might have been a blank out and use the evade token.
Oh yes, yeah, because that was the action that Elliot went for, I believe. So,
but either way, that's a crippled TIE pilot. We might see another shield go down from Rey. We've got 3 dice, no modifications against 1. How Runner reroll.
Nice little bump off How Runner.
That's
a look nice and
I think
natural
that's a
evade.
focus. Both all
gone.
of the shields gone from Rey.
Right, so let's rectify this part first. I know I've still got stuff to do with the TIE Fighter, but I'll get to that in a second. It was just that I was trying to find out where things were on here.
That's a big play this turn coming from that TIE Fighter, because now Rey's in that range with crits that matter. She doesn't have the security of Chewbacca, where you're just going to have to deal with 8 hull, direct hits, major explosions, even turns where Rey won't get to shoot.
Yeah, that is true. Where is it? Where is it in this file? Trying to find where it is.
Looking for left 5.
Because you got all the ship bars. And
left 5 hull bar.
There we go. Thank you. I didn't. For some reason, I didn't spot that. So.
Not losing that TIE Fighter, I don't think it's too important because the damage is done.
I can still see Chelsea actually trying to go for signals this turn, but going as a 3 bank.
Yes, the 3 bank to the right. You should clear the rock, which will give you fire arcs, and Rey lives and dies on fire arcs.
Yeah, she literally does.
And I mean, Poe dying to the loss of a single TIE Fighter. It's a very uphill battle, and now Rey's got to deal with crits.
Yeah, no, that is going to be the hard thing. But with the way the pilot skills work, if she's only taking on 1 a turn, they're all within that range of, if I can get a substantial volley in, you may not be able to evade that. So they're not all that bad. The only issue there is Echo. If Echo decides to permanently cloak those 4 dice with a focus.
Like I said earlier, the snapshot into the cloak, it's an interesting way of playing it.
It worked, nearly.
I can see its use. I still think the Phantoms suffer because they need that high pilot skill or some way of cloaking. Snapshot might be the answer, and use them as I'm going to snapshot you or I'm going to bump you.
Yep.
Which is very important, but then you're relying on the intelligence agent to give you the information and know how to decloak.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's gonna be interesting, and I think it depends on, as I was saying earlier on, it depends on what state Rey's going to be in to clear up. Rey's effectively at half stats here, where crits will now matter.
Yeah.
And if some of those crits start coming through for direct hits, not ejecting BB-8 when Chelsea revealed that direct hit would have been crucial. That's effectively with
the number of damage cards that came through, Poe still would have died just as quickly.
Yeah, but it was just in case that situation.
that missed opportunity where she didn't get the focus, which would have been 3 hits onto Echo.
Echo would have been dead.
Echo wouldn't be on the table right now to be a nuisance in the end game.
Or, on the other hand, you have the flip side of that, of Echo would have then probably needed to have cloaked from that situation and have been there for snapshot, which would have been the only viable shot on Poe that turn was the TIE fighter that has been destroyed.
But the TIE fighter did 1 damage, which would have killed Poe.
But the TIE fighter that would have then died, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
So there would have been no shots coming into Poe. That missed opportunity, I think, might come back to haunt Chelsea here a little bit, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, that missed opportunity is the difference between having Echo in the late game and not.
Yeah. Or how scary Echo is in the end game.
Yeah.
Obviously, Chelsea having the higher pilot skill.
The pilot skill does help, but I mean, push come to shove, Elliot could play this right and just spin round every turn, go in, come the late game, Ray could be on 1 or 2 hull left by the time these TIE fighters die.
Yeah. So this is...
At which point Echo just uses the decloak, flies into position to get the snapshot, takes the cloak, and uses 4 evade dice against... 4 evade dice and a focus against Ray's attack. Yeah, there's a chance that it might kill him, but I think that's Echo's best chance for finishing Ray in the late game.
Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting to see how the next maybe turn or 2 plays out. There isn't much time left in the game. Currently, Chelsea has a grand total of, because it's half rounded up, isn't it? When you've got half down. Oh no, she's still on full health for.
She's
still
not,
above that.
She's not losing the MOV from Ray at the moment, but the points spent on Poe.
Yeah,
is currently haunting her MOV against.
That is currently 38 points. She has got. She has lost 3.
Elliot's only lost 16 points. The TIE fighter with the Duke, that's nothing in comparison to.
To get this back, Chelsea now needs to kill the other one to get to 32. So then to make it on sort of actually equal plane.
That Poe build, I mean, you're looking 31 for the base plus an extra 5, 6.
38.
38 points. That's an expensive ship to lose when you've only taken out 16 points on the other side.
Yeah, that is true. But Chelsea is getting used to this, build. Which, to be fair, apart from the few timings with like the focus actions, she's been playing it really well.
She has been flying it well. I think that's on the rock. That's a nasty manoeuvre. Echo's come in and bumped it.
You mean boy, Elliot. You're very mean.
Echo's forced the bump because the decloak with the intelligence agent.
I would have not played into Elliot's hands here. I would have done the 3 bank the other way.
Yeah, I'd have come away, got the fire arc, and dealt with it later.
The crucial thing is, when I built this list for Chelsea, I actually played a game with her and said it is crucial to try and get the arc because you gain Finn, you gain Ray's 2 rerolls.
Even if you're leaving range 1, just getting the fire arc is so important. But Chelsea is very much used to flying.
Actually, that's not on the rock. It's caused a bump, though.
Chelsea's very much used to flying Chewbacca.
Yes.
Which she's flying very... it's exactly what we're saying, Tarmacon. She should have slooped to the right. And it's another missed opportunity because Chelsea could have got the fire arc there, which could have been the difference.
Well, actually, think about the situation where we could add right now. If Chelsea had done that 3 sloop, that means that Echo would have come into play. Echo's firepower would have come into play.
But not then being able Echo to bring that would have been 2 evade dice against
potentially 3 with Finn's blank.
Or Elliot might have changed his decloak.
Yes.
And Echo wouldn't be in the fight, which would have left Ray with a fire arc on a TIE fighter just to finish it off.
Yeah. So there is still only one reroll because this is the pilot skill 4, not the pilot skill 1 academy. I do believe. Actually, no, this is because it's slow roll. It stayed. That could be a dead academy. It is, and it's got 2 blanks on there. There's at least 2 hits coming through. That is 1 decimated. Oh, double crit. 1 decimated.
I don't think it matters what those crits were.
No, it only had 1 health left to go. So we're getting some points back for Chelsea. So it's still nice. It's still in that iffy balance because there is some damage done on Chelsea.
Another good point that Tarmacon's made is if she'd have taken the Signals loop, she'd have got the defensive reroll. And the +1 blank dice on the side from Finn as well. Ray would just be guaranteed to have survived.
Virtually guaranteed
to survive longer in the fight and be able to deal more damage. Yes, this turn has gone her way, but
long game, you can't afford necessarily to take those risks.
Having that fire arc is just too important.
See if Chelsea works this one out. I think
Chelsea's lucky. A Signals to the right here. Again, she needs to remember that Signals. Use Kanan.
And Echo isn't cloaked.
No, Echo's not cloaked, so we're not going to see a decloak.
Time request on the end of the round, please.
About 10 minutes. That was Mr. Turner jumping into the booth momentarily just to get a time check.
So we're not going to see a decloak this turn from Echo. I think Ray is safe to make that Signals. Making it to the left is dangerous.
But it may pay off more because there's no way Elliot can get that far. Because of the way
Echo's facing, I guess. Because with the way Echo's facing, the Signals to the left could be important.
The worst case...
But then a Signals to the right would be relatively safe. There's only one manoeuvre on Echo's dial that could stop that.
A 2 or 3 hard to the left?
3 hard to the left.
Yeah.
And these TIE fighters aren't... They're not in position to stop it.
The number 4 TIE fighter that we just got there moved up isn't going to have any shots anyway if Chelsea had gone left. Worst case scenario again. Ooh, this could be another...
There's one.
So...
Again, Tarmacon, you're basically saying what we've just said here, but yes, you are right. The Signals to the left, safer because of that possible block by the Phantom.
Yeah.
But in this situation, the Signals to the right, the Phantom's going to get a snapshot.
Oh, hang on, here comes a barrel roll. I don't know if Elliot used Intelligence Agent to find out what was on the dial.
No, he didn't.
Now a 3 bank to the right is
to the
on.
left. To the left now is now scarily close.
But the worst case scenario is it's on the debris cloud. Being on the debris cloud right behind Echo isn't bad either. Okay, no. Yes, it means you get no
Here
rerolls.
we go.
So
Signals to the right, over the top of Echo.
But yeah, again, it's at the moment it's only going to be 1 ship on 1 ship.
What's going to be a real shame here is the timing windows, because the Signals loop title will trigger after the snapshot from Echo, which means Ray won't have a fire arc to re-roll those defense dice on the snapshot.
Chelsea hasn't rotated it.
Oh, it's another missed opportunity.
That would have been
not.
That would have been 5 dice, range band 1 with a focus.
Yeah,
and effectively Predator 3.
Like I said, the snapshot going to put a hit in here.
I think it's 2 hits actually. That's just coming through
it's against the 1 evade dice, but the Signals, the turning around there should have happened. And yes, the snapshot goes off before you turn round because of where the timing windows are, but she'd have got to turn round, would have shot back with so many more dice and such a better quality on those dice that Echo should have left the table.
Yeah. It's still doable. It's still going to be 4 dice range band 1, but now because of that, it's going to be cloaked.
Yeah. At which point, turning around just something that needed to happen, but it didn't.
Chelsea could then do the same thing next turn, though. Echo is going to get nowhere near.
I didn't see any defence dice hit the table, but we'll trust them to their own game.
There's 2 ships now in play here, 2 ships inbound, one of which obviously can't attack, but...
Again, turning around here would have been extra defence dice against that TIE fighter.
Yeah, extra defence dice, obviously an additional attack dice, better quality of dice.
The target for attacking this turn is definitely Echo, but you could have seen the TIE fighter just not put any damage in.
I would have personally gone for Howl Runner, even turn the other way round, because that threat would have been to Echo to cloak.
If Chelsea had have turned round.
But still 3 hits though, on the other hand.
Against 4 defence dice with a focus.
But the luck is
there.
No
focus.
The luck seems to be there.
That's...
Oh, hello!
Echo did get taken off the table, which is what really needed to happen this turn. I still think that the missed opportunities this game have just been so...
The only thing that I think...
They've caused so many problems for both players.
Well, you put it this way, though. Chelsea has got a lot of points back in this turn.
Yes.
Killing a lot of... Well, how many points is Echo normally? About 20, high 20s?
I think Echo is 28 base, plus the Intelligence Agent, Snapshot, and Advanced Cloaking. So you're looking at 30... 35 points-ish, if I can remember my points values correctly, which I'm not normally too bad at them.
No, but you take that on the other hand, that is effectively now what Poe was. You've just recovered Poe in 1 turn.
Yes.
But now you've got the deal of the half points for a large base ship issue.
Yeah. This turn, if we don't see the Segnors loop, I think it's just too many missed opportunities on Chelsea's side, because those 2 TIE fighters, Howl Runner is still up, and we've got Duke. If she doesn't turn around and get that fire arc, it could be the end of Rey.
She's got to. Whichever way she chooses this turn is up to her.
I mean, it's still a game to be had. Both sides are in a relatively good position, even though there's been missed opportunities.
Oh yeah.
But those opportunities could have made the game so much faster
and easier,
and a lot easier on both players. Just remembering different triggers. I mean, missing BB-8 twice.
Yeah, to do the focus action off the back of that. So then, yes, I know I'm going to bump, but...
And I think we've seen 4 or 5 turns where we should have seen a Segnors loop come out of that Falcon to get the fire arc, and we just haven't seen it. Yeah.
It has been unfortunate, though. But apart from those triggers, as I was saying, I think both of them have been playing very well with what was... Okay, yes, Chelsea had a little look at this. Effectively brand new lists.
Yes.
I loved how Echo was working. That was a nice little combo that Elliot pulled out of the hat.
The Snapshot Advanced Cloaking device works.
It's too hard.
Again, we need to see that Falcon turn round. I know Chelsea is used to playing Chewbacca and not Rey, but you can't fly Rey like Chewbacca because
they're completely different animals, effectively.
Yeah. If you fly Rey in the way she's been flying, like you would normally fly Chewbacca, there's a hit coming on to Howl Runner.
That makes Howl Runner nearly dead.
Howl Runner is now crippled.
Severely crippled. And there's a shot coming in band this turn as well. It's not the best of shots. It's not the best of shots.
It's still range 2 with Predator rerolls and a focus.
And no modification from Howl Runner.
Yes.
This could be fatal.
We could see the end of Howl Runner, which would just clinch the game for Chelsea.
There we go. That's 3 hits. Elliot has to roll perfectly. And has he?
No. And I do believe
No, that's how Runner's gone as well. So that is completely flipped.
It's turned the game around.
Well, Chelsea has now won the game with 2 minutes left on the clock. There is no way.
There's no way that TIE fighter can kill Ray.
No, even if Chelsea went really slow, doing one hard or one bank maneuvers to make them close the gap. This is Chelsea's game all day now.
Yeah, but the missed opportunities we've seen from both sides, it shows the inexperience with these lists.
Yeah.
Very well flown by both players. I think Chelsea needs more practice with Ray.
And Poe as well. To remember those timing triggers.
Just any ship with BB-8.
Yeah.
But she's been flying Ray as if she didn't have the sloop title. She hasn't used it once.
Yeah. Might as well have been playing the other type. And then taking evade actions.
Yeah. She's been playing Ray and flying how Chewie would fly. And it's caused her some problems. Just because she hasn't had the extra evade dice that have been necessary to stay alive longer, and those extra attack dice that she could have had in earlier turns. We could have seen all of the Imperial side off the table 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. We'll just have to see how this goes. Is that out of range? This is the last turn with dials on it. There's not going to be another turn in here. I will quickly reveal that to the guys on the stream as well.
Yep.
I'll let you dictate the final round of movement.
Alright, so in we go for the last turn. We've got the 3 forward coming in from the Black Squadron TIE Fighter. Again, unless we see an insane dice roll where the TIE Fighter takes no damage from Ray and then the TIE Fighter gets 3 crits through onto Ray and just blows her out of the sky, I don't think that's going to happen, and I don't think the TIE Fighter has a lot of chance of killing the Millennium Falcon this turn. Although we might have a bit of a saving grace on the TIE Fighter side, we might not see it leave the table, and there we go, Ray's landed on the rock. It's not too important. No, she hasn't felt the full pain of it, but it would have been more dice because of Finn adding those dice and then getting to re-roll them. It would have been the evade dice which would have helped her survive longer. She could have been left with more than a half hull if she'd have got those re-rolls. And we should see an extra dice come here because of the fire arc, but again, it's a missed opportunity that we're not seeing.
Yeah, so obviously this is a null and void point of the game. The TIE Fighter couldn't kill the Falcon in one hit. So Chelsea, for all the swings and flows in the game, comes out on top, which I think from the start of the game we never really thought possible.
I thought it was possible for the Falcon to come in and clean up, but with the way things have been flown, there are just so many things that those missed opportunities, they haven't punished her in the way that they could have done.
Yeah, I think luck has been on a side in that regard. That I could see it if it was in a tournament. I could see them coming back to bite you really hard.
Yeah.
It's one of those things.
Any other game, like if the dice had have just been average, straight averages on dice with the re-rolls, the focus, like modifications.
Yeah.
If you don't turn round and get that fire arc with Ray is just dead weight. You might as well fly Chewie.
Or something else, or even the unnamed, the new Pilot Skill 3 sympathiser.
I have actually used that. It's a lot better than you'd think.
Well, it's a lot better than the original generic Falcon, or the 1300.
Well, yeah, it's 11 points for, I think we worked
for 2
out
pilot
like,
skill.
Something like 6 or 7 extra stats.
You'd take that any day of the week, wouldn't you, I think?
Yeah.
So the guys are now just coming into the
Hello,
booth.
Elliot.
First to arrive is Elliot and Chelsea.
I decided to come in.
I was going to come in anyway. But
Yeah. Hello.
I don't know where you want to.
Sit down.
If I move this, and
Hello.
hello. So how do you two think it went?
Well, I'll defer to Chelsea on the first pass. I'll begin my analysis after her.
It flopped. For me, it flopped.
You won!
I don't care. I still feel like I flopped.
We were commenting on a number of times on both sides. There were a number of
Mistakes.
missed opportunities and triggers.
Mm.
The turn where you used BB-8, you forgot about your push the limit. You could have taken that focus action, and with the dice how they came out, that would have been Whisper crippled in that first pass.
And then obviously towards the end of the game with the signals loops with the Falcon.
I don't think I saw you signals once, and you missed out on your fire arc, so you were basically playing a Falcon that had no pilot ability for half the game.
But in fairness though, Ray did come back and do a very good clean-up duty.
I'm surprised.
Both lists were flown very well, but there were a lot of missed opportunities.
I was saying to Elliot, it's the first time I've ever played him, and he was like, "Really?"
I was shocked at that. I was scared.
I scared Gareth by saying exactly the same thing when we got the game underway.
Dave mentioned it at the beginning, and
Yeah,
I
like,
thought
really?
I'd seen
I'm like,
you
yeah,
two
this
play
is the
against
first
each
time
other.
I've ever played you.
I swore that I've played you before, but clearly I'm thinking of something else. I'm probably thinking of the game I had with Harley at some point.
Probably.
Very happy with how the snapshot echo works with.
It's a fantastic little blocker, isn't it?
With the intelligence agent, just to go. I know where you're going to be, and
Every single time you got a hit through it, I was like,
yeah.
No!
I mean, I missed the last one. I think that's what screwed me over because I didn't know whether she was swooping right or if she was turning left. I thought she'd turn left and bump me. I clearly was wrong, and I think that would have saved Whisper in the end. Echo in the end. But it is what it is. Hindsight.
I had a bad feeling from the start. I was like, this isn't going to happen.
It could have been a very different game. We were commenting on how the missing the focus from the push the limit BB-8 could have meant a crippled Echo, at which point that would have forced you into cloaking on that snapshot turn, which would have meant, yes, you'd have had 5 evade dice against the Falcon, but the TIE fighter that would have got to shoot at Poe wouldn't have been there, and Echo wouldn't have got the shot.
Yeah.
So Poe would still been alive at the end of that.
Yeah.
It's just a number of missed opportunities have kind of made the game very hard for both of you.
Yeah. That being said, I'm really happy with the build because, as you say, with the intelligence agent, the ability to know where your opponent's going, it works for both Whisper, or Echo in this case, and with the TIE fighters, because if Echo can't block, I can manipulate one of the TIE fighters to block and potentially give Echo a snapshot and a normal attack.
I think the intelligence agent snapshot, if you're going to do it with a Phantom, you do it with Echo. Because you've got more options for where you can be.
Yes.
You do it with Whisper, you start suffering on pilot skill for the snapshot, because snapshot is just better on lower pilot skill.
Well, that's the thing. I thought, and there have been instances where the first list I've tested this twice. Once against
me.
No, it wasn't against you. It was against a previous person, which was Johnny Theft Clark, and having a kind of mid-tier pilot skill meant that I could get in the way of small ships, lower pilot skill ships, and I could use, because of the way the Phantom works, I can use my decloak to
bump one ship
to make sure that I know where one is going, and I'm like, okay, I can manipulate where I am, and because I have the banks, I can judge which one is going to get me the closest to getting the next snapshot.
You can potentially bump 2 ships out of actions just by having the intelligence agent on a Phantom. It's
a really surprising list, and I'm surprised not many people are flying snapshots. To be fair, this is the worst matchup for a Phantom against a turret ship. I'd say one of the worst.
Not so much.
I thought that the Phantom was going to demolish me.
I was surprised I didn't see more play coming from Echo in the sense of decloaking and moving into a position to get your snapshot, take your focus, and then just have a cloaked phantom. Yes, you're in range 1, but you're not likely to be in fire arc, and you're going to have 4 dice with a focus coming back. Like
that's the idea, is that you use the snapshot to say, and the current scenario to say, okay, will I be shot at? If the answer is no, you don't cloak. You have your focus, and you simply do a second volley on.
But if you're going to be shot at,
then you cloak.
Take the cloak.
I was saying to Elle, I go, you saw how badly I did against the same list. Standard. I did terribly. I got demolished within like the first 4 turns.
I obviously didn't see that match myself, but no, that was the double defender. No, the triple defender. The double defender and Omega.
Yes.
From
is that Omega Vessery Riyadh?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I got absolutely demolished, and I was like, no.
That is kind of a
Not
meta
again.
list though, and you
It's
don't.
the first time in ages I've actually won on the stream.
Yeah.
I also think that I took Ray out with a fight too long. You chased Echo, which is what I was hoping you would do.
I basically went the whole way round.
Yeah, you did.
Well,
and
it worked.
was
In the
going
end,
that
it
way. It
worked.
was just going around that.
it worked, but the thing is, I delayed Ray in the engagement, and the TIE fighters could deal and soften Poe while the Echo moved in for the final kill.
You know, I just thought I'd go around the Death Star.
So, yeah. Oh no, I'm not
I wanted to
displeased.
view it
I'm
from
not
the
happy. I'm not. You know, it's okay. I think it was an okay match. It was fun. That's what I wanted.
It was
fun.
It was very well flown from both sides, but it's just so many missed opportunities that could have sped up the game and made both of your lives a lot easier.
The last time I played a Phantom was pre nerf.
Pre-nerf.
I think you can tell because I
can tell because you're using the intelligence agent.
Well, no, but even that, because you do, it happens before you engage the decloak.
Before you decloak.
So
yes.
even then, it's still useful, I think.
Almost more useful.
Yeah.
But obviously, before the nerf, intelligence agent was kind of a staple on Phantoms, where you'd use the intelligence agent to know where your opponent was going to be, so you knew you could decloak in the right position.
Yeah.
I better start calling these my lucky rip dreams.
If it works, it works.
You can tell how much you like to fly Chewbacca though, and not Ray. Because
I kept calling it Chewie. I was like, no!
I must admit, I confessed to saying it once.
I
at
called
least.
it like 6 times. You and me both did it. It was like,
yes, I will say
now
this.
Chewie said, no,
is
right.
You have established yourself as a YT player, and it did mean that going into this, I kind of felt like I know that one ship is going to be probably a 1300. I just got to make sure. And I knew
I'm waiting to get my other one back. I'm so excited.
I knew that was going to be a problem because Phantoms and turrets don't usually go very well together.
You guys probably would have seen my lovely new Falcon.
yes, I've seen it.
It looks beautiful.
I've seen pictures of it.
Beautiful.
I have seen it because I've been to Toby's
Shall we do
office
the
and
next
seen
match
it
setup?
in the flesh.
Yes, please.
Who is it?
It is going to be Richard against Chris Turner.
I'll go and grab them now.
If you get Chris to set up
Oh,
on the right,
cookie.
then
On the right.
yeah,
Yeah, inside.
yes.
Anyway, I have food.